In the following demonstration, I'm going to walk you through again some basic modeling techniques. This particular time, I'm going to concentrate on showing you how to place a hole at an angle to a planar face. So let's begin by selecting Format, selecting Layer Settings. We're going to make the work layer number 10. We're going to just close number 1. Close layers. We're going to go into Orient View and select the isometric. And the next thing that I'm going to do is create a block, a basic block, 100 by 50 by 15, that's acceptable. Going to specify the point and place this block at the absolute. Now we do a fit. I'm going to edit, object displayed, select the solid body, hit OK, and let's change the color to something that is visible and move the translucency somewhere where we can visualize when we place the hole at an angle. So by creating datum planes is the most effective way of positioning this hole. There is multiple ways of using it, so we're going to use this infer under type and select both faces on each side, one on one side and the other side. That will place the datum plane that is associative right in the center. So every time that the block changes the width, the datum would stay in place. Now another technique is we can use a datum plane at a distance, and by selecting one of the ends of the block and reversing the direction, we can slightly move and control the distance anytime that we want to reposition the hole later on. So fit is okay. Be sure the associative toggle is on. And we're going to create now a datum plane that is going to be at an angle. And by reading the cue at the bottom, it says select planar face. So we're going to select the planar face at the top, and then selecting the edge that will give us the datum at an angle. We specify the angle, or we can actually simply rotate by little sphere here, control the angle rotation. Be sure the associative is on, and we hit OK. Now we're ready to create a hole. So we go under the hole operator, and we're going to select the datum plane that we created at an angle. Before we do that, we got to be sure that we position the WCS at that angle. So select that datum plane, and it's important that we do this because later on we're going to need a vector direction for driving the hole at an angle. So now we can go back to hole and select the datum plane. And that puts us into the sketch mode immediately. And here we're going to create a point at cursor location. Hit OK, and we close. And the next thing that we're going to do is constrain that point. So select the point, select one of the datum planes, in this case the horizontal. Select point and curve, and that would put that point in line with that. Select it again and select point and curve again, selecting the other datum and selecting the constraint point and curve. And that concludes the sketch. So we be sure that the sketch is fully constrained, select finish, and go back into the hole operator. And here all we're going to have to do is be sure that it's under subtract, and we're going to go back to the hole direction, and we're going to change the hole direction to a long vector. And immediately we can see how the hole is going to be created at an angle. And if we show the results here, we can see the hole created at an angle. We just simply hit OK, and there is our hole. So now we're going to test it by selecting one of these datum planes. I'm going to double click on it. then slide it over in one direction, or we can slide it in the other direction. It doesn't matter. I hit OK. Now we can see how the hole follows the datum plane. We select the datum that we have at an angle, and we can change the angle to any angle we desire. Hit OK. And now we can see that the angle or the direction of that hole also changes. So pretty much this will conclude this presentation.